This is Matt Hansen, Art Daddy. How must the work be so unrelentingly cringe? Art Director at Obsidian Entertainment, working on the game Avowed. He put out this post on Blue Sky, where he and all of the other people with questionable sexualities have gathered these days, saying, sickos.jpg. I wanted so badly to make him mad at my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just to wait until you see the default, you said. Sad, I presume, little shit, in response to Elon Musk retweeting Grum, saying, I'm drawing a line, I'm rejecting any game that has pronouns in it, as it was revealed that Avowed would have pronouns in its character stats windows. This got a lot of people quite upset, because pronouns have kind of become the first and most obvious red flag of a wokeist game these days, the body type A, B, etc. nonsense, and this is unfortunate, because Avowed really looked pretty damn good. When it was announced years and years ago, it released an in-effect tech demo that looked really, really good and really, really cool. It kind of came across as an Elder Scrolls competitor with more of a touch of the fantastical, more of a, Morrowind-ish flavor to it. I was very interested, as were many others, but well, a lot of that interest has somewhat cooled recently. I posted this on Twitter yesterday, saying that LGBTQ had been added to the tags for Avowed. Now, mind you, these are user-added tags, so this was not the developers, although the developers have the power to add or remove tags as they see fit. We've seen previous examples of this. And so on Twitter, I simply said, okay, let's see if the developer removes it. A day later, they have not. LGBTQ+ is still there, and now joined by some others, like political and politics, which, to be fair, that is right in line with Obsidian's previous points on the Outer Worlds. Co-director says it will be political, but not politically charged. I don't know about that. I think the asexual game was fairly politically charged in its own way right there, but oh well. Anywho, there seems to be some pretty damn safe indications that this is going to be a woke game, far beyond simply the pronouns and the bio and so on. There seems to be a lot more to suggest that Avowed is not going to be a Skyrim, or the Skyrim or the Morrowind version we were looking forward to. They have Pride merch too, by the way, just in case you were wondering. So, I did a little bit of a dive into this with Matt Hansen here and his quote, retweet of Elon Musk, Sky, I don't even know what they use over on that weird-ass platform. He expands as well. If, when the dust settles, we aren't all fucked, this is in reference to the election, we really need to prioritize public education as a country. Basic media literacy and critical thinking skills, rather the decline of them over the past 3 decades, is a big reason why we are here. We also need better public media, says this individual. Oh, really now? As a fair few of the Obsidian developers are of the similar political persuasion. Here is Kelsey Mon, senior narrative designer at Obsidian, The Outer Worlds 2, who says, for example, Trump did not gain more support. He did, actually. The Democrats established simply did not inspire their base to vote. Why is that? They could have put a stop to the genocide in Palestine. They chose to enable it instead. Could they? How exactly could they have done that? They could have forgiven student debt and raised the minimum wage again. How many times has the minimum wage been raised in the US at this point? They could have codified abortion rights and access to healthcare for trans folk. Actually, abortion rights for trans folk? But actually, it also turned out that abortion was not that big of a woman's issue after all. It seems as if more people actually joined Trump in this election as, surprise, surprise, a lot of women don't actually want to kill babies. I know, shocker, but hey. And other members of the Obsidian teams have elected wisely to simply just lock their accounts instead. Obsidian appears to be in full damage control, as they are now getting aware that, yeah, the pendulum is swinging, and they appear to be, as they love to say, on the wrong side of history. Although some are still out and proud, shall we say. Josh Scheuer here, who used to work on Fallout New Vegas, by the way, is now helping on Avowed. And he's put out, for example, this. Heard Avowed is woke AF. Is it true? New Vegas was so good, but I don't have any hope for this one. Turning a big dial that says New Vegas woke level and constantly looking back at the audience for approval. See, retrospectively, this is what I mean. This is the thing here. Obsidian is a studio that has received far too much positive praise that it frankly doesn't actually deserve. The only really good game they made, or the exceptional, because Pillars of Eternity also, 1 was good and 2 was woke as shit, but New Vegas was their only exceptional game, and I believe it was exceptional more so because of the limitations placed upon the company by Bethesda. This was a game where the developers were simply not allowed to tie a noose around their own necks. They had to get it out the door due to strict timeline restraints and considerations. They simply just had to make a game to the best of their abilities and release the game. No consideration on whether or not to make it woke. And in retrospect, now they're like, oh yeah, no, we totally tried to make that a woke game. If they'd been given another 6 months, New Vegas would not be remembered as fondly today as it is. There's also this one here. This in defense of Dragon Age Veilguard, referring to one of the most consistently progressive games companies with regards to diversity representation and inclusivity. I can't believe they went woke. Well, that's the thing. You are correct. BioWare has always been an inclusive company because gaming was always an inclusive hobby. But as I've talked about previously, gaming became, or not gaming, but more wokeism and BioWare became so inclusive that they excluded their original audience. And the majority of it as well, it seems. This also then can be brought down to The Outer Worlds, of course, which was another very progressive title that a lot of people had a lot of hope for, but then it turned out to be tiny, restrictive, boring, and filled with politics, like the asexual character and so on. Yeah, it did not go over very well at all. And Avowed is looking like it's going to be the same game. Avowed is an RPG for time-poor gamers. As much as I love a meaty RPG, I simply don't have the time to play them, says, the games journalists. Fortunately, Avowed seems to be similar to The Outer World in terms of scale. It is not a fully open-world RPG, with Warden instead using the Open Zone RPG classifier. So a much smaller, much more limited game, and that isn't even necessarily a negative thing. If you've got a good story tightly told with well-constructed zones with interesting places in them, I'm fine with that, but, well, we've tried that before with Obsidian and it worked out not that well. Furthermore as well, they also announced a while ago that Avowed will not have romance options for your companions. Why could that be? Now, see, I am of the firm belief that companions are the future of RPGs, giving more of a lifelike experience, allowing you to experience the adventure, in essence, with actual companions, giving valuable information, feedback, and lore dumps in a natural way. Obsidian has decided not to do that. Could it possibly be because of some blowback to previous attempts? Could it be, in fact, that they're beginning to kind of reject the idea of romantic entanglement entirely, as they did with Outer Worlds? There is a whole quest line in there where you need to talk your asexual companion into being like, oh yeah, no, it's totally fine that you're asexual. Your partner is just going to have to understand. And you have no option to go, yeah, but this is supposed to be a relationship, give and take, etc. You sure you shouldn't conform at least partially to your partner's wishes? No, none of that. Affirmation only, just like in Dragon Age Veilguard. And the media is also in lockstep behind it. Avowed, Obsidian's game has done one thing right that puts it in the same league as Elden Ring, Red Dead Redemption 2. Is looking to be one of the most exciting releases for 2025 and already matches Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption graphically. Really? There we go. Really now? I don't know if I agree with that assertion right there. I feel as if this is sounding a lot like media bias right here. A lot like, oh hey, this thing has our politics in it. Let's be happy about it. Yeah. Whenever I'm beginning to see the outlines of a stark divide between the social media influencers and the mainstream media, I tend to get rather wary, so, Avowed. Not looking very good at the moment, not looking very good at all. You could also apparently buy it for World of Warcraft Gold, which is weird and makes me even more suspicious, and they had an early access package including 5 days early access to the game. I hate that practice because it's YouTuber bait. And the worst part is I kind of have to fall for it, don't I? If I can... The only way I have, as somebody who will not be given any sort of review access to this game, I can guarantee you that, has of warning you about whether or not this is going to be a woke game, is shelling out the YouTube tax for it. I'm not sure I want to. We'll see. The graphically excellent Avowed. I mean, hey, the art daddy over here did warn us, just wait until you see the default, so... I also, interestingly, although there were a bunch of people who were given a preview version of the game, none of them talked about the character creator, almost as if they were forbidden from doing so. I wonder if some lesson could have been learned from Dragon Age the Veilguard there. I suppose we'll have to wait and see, but for right now, every indicator is pointing solidly towards woke shit. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.